Hi everyone, welcome to GeoRick's Travels. This is our third day in London.
Today we've got two really interesting places to go and visit, with a few geocaches along the way we hope, and we're going mudlarking.
Yes, it's going to be fun, come with us.
It's a short walk from our Airbnb to the closest underground station.
Okay, we're going to St Paul's. So we're looking down to the Epping train.
From St Paul's station we are walking to two interesting locations, often missed by visitors to London.
It's busy.
When we first arrive in London, we have to remind ourselves to stand on the right so others in a hurry to catch their train can get past. We're heading out to find Postman's Park, where a scene from a movie we watched a few years ago was filmed.
Okay, just finding our way to Postman's Park. Oh, something cool coming up in front of us here.
Look at this.
It's like a mini TARDIS.
Yes. Not quite the same shape as Doctor Who's, but
No, but it's got the light on top.
it's very cool, isn't it? I wonder if you can open it. No, it doesn't open.
Right, off we go into Postman's Park.
Welcome to Postman's Park.
As the park was a popular lunchtime spot for workers from the nearby General Post Office, it became known as Postman's Park.
Oh, a nice fish pond here. You see the fish?
Yeah, the goldfish.
A church building has stood here for nearly 1,000 years. The message about Jesus Christ's death and resurrection is proclaimed here throughout the week. In medieval times, people on their way out of the city would stop to pray for St Botolph to bless their journey.
Lovely flower garden here. Looks like the place is well looked after. This is what we've come to see, this memorial wall.
It's the George Watts Memorial to Heroic Self-Sacrifice. In 1900, a memorial was set up to ordinary people who died while saving the lives of others and who might otherwise be forgotten. It's a covered exterior gallery and long wall housing ceramic memorial tablets.
In commemoration of heroic self-sacrifice.
54 tablets have been added over the years. William Fisher, aged 9, lost his life while trying to save his little brother from being run over in July 1886. Here's a statuette of George Frederick Watts, the artist who created the memorial. Alex Stewart Brown, Fellow of the Royal College of Surgeons, though suffering from severe spinal injury, died from his brave efforts to rescue a drowning man and to restore life.
Okay, Alice is daughter of a bricklayer's labourer who, by intrepid conduct, saved 3 children from a burning house in Union Street Borough at the cost of her own young life. Wow.
April 24th, 1885. That's the one from the movie.
Yes, yeah.
In the movie, Alice Ayres, played by Natalie Portman, is asked for her name by Dan Wolfe, played by Jude Law, in the course of their first meeting in Postman's Park. It's later revealed that she has fabricated her identity, taking her pseudonym from Alice Ayres' tablet on this memorial. Henry James Bristow saved his little sister's life by tearing off her flaming clothes, but caught fire himself and died of burns and shock. Solomon Galliman died after saving his little brother from being run over in Commercial Street. Mother, I saved him, but I could not save myself. The park was once a graveyard. Following cholera epidemics, new burials were prohibited in what were then the built-up areas of London. With no new burials, it was decided to convert the churchyard into a public park. Many of the headstones were placed around the edge. The cache description gives another interesting detail.
A shortage of space for burials in London meant that corpses were often laid on the ground and covered over with soil, thus elevating the park above the streets which surround it.
What's the geocache called, Lynn?
It's called Last Delivery, London.
Yep. Okay, Last Delivery, Postman's Park.
Yeah. Okay, hint. Enter through the east gate. 2. Face the door of the building. 3. Right hand side in the corner. Still having problems. Check out the spoiler photo.
Okay.
Oh, that's good.
Yep.
Righto. It's East Garden. Oh, East Gate.
So where's the East Gate?
I don't know, that's it. Okay, so it's about 30 metres away.
Okay. Looks like the East Gate is the one we came in off the main road, so we're heading back down there. We're down in the right hand corner. Where do you think the cache is hidden? Let's have a look. There it is. The Last Delivery.
A few people have been there.
Yeah, lots of people. GeoRick.
Hey.
And look, they've got some, I don't know, fake pound notes. Not sure what they are.
No.
A little trackable. Plastic spoon.
Pen?
Pen.
The pen works.
Probably. I'm not going to try it. There we go.
Great. That's a lovely park.
Beautiful big trees amongst the buildings here. Old chess tomb. Okay, we're off to the second interesting place for the day. Before we go mudlarking,
Yay.
just passing the Museum of London. That's where we go if we find anything very special on the Thames foreshore, and hand it in for people to analyse it and log it. So far we haven't found anything that interesting to go in there. Never mind, still fun for us. How far we've got to go?
I don't know. 2
Says it.
minutes.
Okay, 2 minutes walk and we'll be there. To our second most interesting place. Well, here's the problem of being a tourist, Lynn. The building's got scaffolding all over it. Ah, no. It's the gatehouse of the Priory Church of St. Bartholomew the Great. It's a great story here, which we can tell everybody, but we might have to use photos from somewhere else. This half-timbered gatehouse was added in 1595 above a 13th century stone arch. It was later hidden behind a Georgian shopfront. In World War I, a Zeppelin raid blew the facade open, revealing a wonderful Tudor structure underneath. Let's just go through. Wow, nice entranceway. I love the coat of arms. We're walking through a very ancient part of London. Up ahead is the church. St. Bartholomew dates from 1123. It's been much altered over the centuries.
Having survived the Great Fire of London and the Blitz, it's the oldest parish church in London. The building was founded as an Augustine priory. Here's St. Bartholomew himself.
Let's go in for a look around.
Admission is free, but you can make a donation to its upkeep.
Right, we're going to have a look around. Wow, pretty atmospheric, isn't it?
Goodness me, it's amazing.
The font dates from 1405. Now over 600 years old, it's still in active use today. Here is the tomb of St Walter Mildmay. He was a politician and despite his Puritan inclinations managed to survive under Henry VII, Mary and Elizabeth I. His Puritan leanings did not prevent him commissioning this elaborate altar tomb. Let's head on to find the Lady Chapel.
It's quite spooky in here. Everything's very dark and sooty in. Here's the Lady Chapel. Wow, that's really nice.
It's the site of the only visitation of the Virgin Mary in London. In the 12th century she appeared here to Canon Hubert. During the 18th century it was a printer's workshop. In 1725 Benjamin Franklin was employed here as an apprentice. Let's go in for a look around.
We'll let Lynn catch us up. She's been busy taking photos. The Madonna and Child. It was commissioned as an altarpiece by the Priory Church. Very beautiful. The oriel window was installed here in the early 1500s by Prior William Bolton, allegedly so that he could keep an eye on the monks. Bolton has his name recorded in the window in the form of a pictorial pun, which shows a barrel or tun pierced by a crossbow bolt, i.e. bolton. We are walking over the burials in the floor here. They're called ledger stones. The tomb of Prior Rahia, the founder of the church and a courtier to King Henry I. He died in 1143. His tomb was sandbagged for fear of damage during the Zeppelin raids across London during the First World War. This beautiful cloister is the only remaining piece of the main church cloister square. Right, we're heading out. And even the back is covered in scaffolding, so we're not even getting a nice view there.
What a shame.
Never mind.
It was wonderful inside.
Yeah, the church is amazing, isn't it? Here's how it usually looks without the scaffolding. You can see the old door on the left, that looks pretty cool. Okay, through we go. It's getting time for lunch, Lynn.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Where are we going? Well, it's time for lunch, and the Butcher's Hook and Cleaver is right next door. So, great pub to go to.
Yeah, that's good.
A great pub sign. Okay, here's the pub, and it's starting to rain, so it looks like we'll be nice and warm in here and dry for lunch.
That's lovely flowers.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it's a nice looking pub.
Yeah, it is.
My goodness. Look at this. Isn't this a lovely pub? Wow. I would usually have London Pride, but trying their Seafarers English Ale today. It's brewed in support of the UK's maritime charity, Gale's Seafarers. Fullers donate money from every pint of Seafarers to the charity. Great, thank you. Cheers.
Cheers!
Although no longer bottled, Seafarers is available year-round on the Fuller's Brewery Tour and in selected Fuller's pubs like this one. It's a crisp, light amber ale. Nice.
we're both having an 8-ounce rump steak, medium rare with tomato, mushroom and triple cooked chips and a peppercorn sauce. Yum!
Okay, we've had a nice lunch at the pub and we've walked down through London, down here to the banks of the River Thames, and we're just waiting for the tide to go out before we can go mudlarking. And just over here there's a geocache we can get, a virtual.
This is about the cache. It says London has many monuments to historical events. It's true. But this one's the newest. The top item on one face is of interest to all geocaches, but to prove you visited, what item is listed at the bottom of that face in the email?
Okay, so we've got to look around at the top of this, reading the engraved words and seeing which one matches. All right, have you found it, Lynn?
I think so. Well, I know so.
Okay,
It's got to
good.
be right.
Right, that's all we have to do here?
Nice getting the virtual here under the Millennium Bridge. We still have a while to wait as the foreshore near here is where we will be mudlarking. The area we're looking at over the wall here is out of bounds. Even with a permit we cannot search, dig or metal detect here. No disturbance is allowed. We don't even walk here when the tide's out. On the Port of London's map it's a red no-go area. The space is called Queen Hythe Dock. It was a place where boats were pulled up on the foreshore with goods being sold from the boats. It dates to the time of Alfred the Great, 886 AD. Queen Matilda also had built London's first public lavatory at the dock, which was available for the common use of the citizens of London. Over the wall here on the left is an interesting mural on the history of London. It starts with the Roman invasion and building Londinium. Mudlarks have donated some of their finds from each period that have been placed along the bottom of the mural. Here are small pieces of Roman Samian ware found by mudlarks. The bubonic plague killed over 100,000 Londoners. The Vikings attack London. The Norman conquest of 1066. Salt glazed pottery imported into London from the 1500s. Tudor greenware from the 1500s, the Tudor era. Staffordshire comb slipware from the mid-17th century to the late 18th century. Shakespeare, the Great Plague and the Great Fire of London. The Blitz of World War II. Modern times.
Okay, we think the tide's gone out far enough, so we're heading down, start looking.
We'll hope it's far in. Oh yeah, it might be okay.
Let's have a look over. Oh, it's a bit soon, but we might find
Soon,
something.
but we're keen.
We're keen, all right. One's going down on her bottom. Safest way. They are quite steep, aren't they? Okay, what have you found down here, Lynn?
Bit of this. There we are.
Bit of tin glaze, by the looks of it. Yeah. And I found this little bit of...
Oh, that's pretty.
Oh, that's quite nice.
I'll put that back down again. That's nice though.
Okay. All right, let's keep walking along. There's a cup handle down there I can see.
Yeah.
Usual clay pipe stems, broken stems everywhere.
Has to turn some of those things over too, doesn't it?
A little bit more.
Yeah.
Tile with a square hole down there. Probably for an iron nail to attach it. An oyster shell with a similar square hole. There's a lot of speculation around how the holes came to be there. They appeared to be made deliberately, and some have been found amongst the building rubble from Roman and medieval times. Maybe they were used as a cheap material for basic repairs to walls and roofs. Can you see a piece of Chinese export porcelain? Delicate blue and white Chinese porcelain wares began to be imported in numbers in the early 1600s. They caused a sensation. Cargoes were so valuable they were known as white gold. An old nail, possibly from shipbuilding, but it could be from a wharf or a jetty structure.
Well, there's a little pipe, but there's no maker's name on it, which is a little disappointing. A few bits of blue and white. It's quite pretty. That looks really old.
This is a lovely old piece. Tin glazed tiles were made in London starting in the 1570s, during the reign of Queen Elizabeth I. They were made up until the late 1700s.
I like the little handle.
Yeah, nice to see the green on it. True to greenware, used and broken around the time of King Henry VIII, Queen Mary and Elizabeth I. At most, no later than 1700. Over here, Staffordshire slipware.
Yep.
The late 1600s saw the production of comeware dishes and plates intended for poor to middle class kitchens and dining tables, as well as for use in taverns. This piece could date anywhere from between 1690 to the early 1800s. Various blue, bit of German salt glaze. Another bit of tin glaze, I think. And that there is a pipe, or what remains of it. Awful lot missing, the bowl's pretty smashed up and gone. Yeah. Here's Caroline, an experienced mudlark. She's just made a wonderful find.
And nobody has touched that for 400 years.
And it's so well camouflaged, isn't it?
It is.
Yes,
It
you
is,
do.
and that's why I have to wear reading
Yeah.
glasses.
It's a bone gaming die.
The ring and dot can be
Wow.
medieval or Roman. In this area here, probably not. That's my 8th or 9th die.
She kindly showed us another of her amazing finds.
But this is the bead, and that's
Alright.
just after I had found it.
Gee.
So it had its moment in the British Museum in February, and they're now using the image on a lot of publications.
Oh, that's very
She
cool.
is amazing.
It's a bone terminal rosary bead dated between 1450 and 1550, reminding whoever owned it of their mortality.
There's a pin, first one I've found. Once you know what to look for, once somebody's showing you, it's been helpful, like Caroline was. It makes it much easier to find them. Found a pin, Lynn.
Oh,
Yep, first one for me.
gosh, well done. That's good spotting.
Thanks to Caroline. Once you've seen one,
Yeah,
it
okay.
makes it so much easier.
Yeah, gets your eye in.
It's the first pin from the foreshore. It's the 1600s, 1700s. Lynn once on our first visit found a whole handful, but we didn't know what they were.
I did.
But they were in such a big pile, and there's so many of them, I thought, well, this is just common. So, so I left them there and walked on.
It's taken 2 years to find another one.
Yeah, I know, haven't found any, have we?
No. Why get so excited over a brass pin, even if it is handmade one? Hundreds of years ago, before sewing machines, clothing came in parts and was pinned or laced together. Outfits were constructed of separate pieces. Dresses of this period relied heavily on pinning to stay together. Sleeves were pinned or laced up to the bodice and could be changed for a new look. Embroidered sleeve sets were frequently given to Elizabeth I as New Year's gifts. Pins were used for holding and shaping dresses in the 1500s and the 1600s. Dresses this period relied heavily on pinning to stay together. When Edward III's daughter, Princess Joan, was married in 1348, her trousseau included 12,000 pins for fastening her veils. Pins were used to secure the folds in linen headdresses or fasten transparent veils to the hair. Pins were essential for rich and poor alike. They were distributed widely by itinerant peddlers and also sold in shops.
Pincushions became an important accessory on a lady's dressing table. Both brass and steel pins are in Elizabeth Vernon's pincushion. Brass pins were favoured more than steel as they were easier to make, don't rust, and looked more like gold. Queen Elizabeth I had her own pinner from the time of her coronation. It would routinely take well over 2 hours every day to pin Queen Elizabeth into her clothing. They were never left in clothing so as not to rip the precious fabric or stain it through oxidization. In the 1500s, pins were a vital tool for fastening clothing and accessories. They were used to secure ruffs, cuffs, veils and jewels. Ruffs and collars were a dramatic accessory in England during Tudor times. Ruffs were pinned in place to shirts, chemises and outer garments. They were also sometimes tied with laces or strings. Ruffs served as changeable pieces of cloth that could themselves be laundered separately while keeping the wearer's doublet or gown from becoming soiled at the neckline. Most pins found here are 14th to 18th century, and that's why we're so happy to find one. Such a link to people of the past. We found another interesting object to do with clothing. It's a metal aglet. No plastic back then. These small handmade metal tubes were sewn or attached with tiny metal rivets to the end of leather, cord or ribbon laces. Well before zips, buttons and Velcro, a lot of clothing was laced together. We see them today on our shoelaces or here as decorations on a modern blouse. Aglets were most commonly used from the 15th to the 17th century. In the 15th or 16th centuries, aglets were used as decorative elements on clothing, with some even made from precious materials such as gold or silver.
What more can we find? Can you see a broken clay pipe?
It's got a maker's initial on it. Looks like VNS on this side. Not sure whether it's still there on the other side.
Here you can see the fingerprints of the potter making a pattern along here. It's very thick, so I'm not too sure. We'll need to find out a little bit more about this one. So I can't think what sort of pot it would be on it. It would have to be quite a large one. When you look at that cross section. Everything on this part of the foreshore has to be eyes only. You're not allowed to dig down here. So we just have to look and look and look. But certainly get on your hands and knees seems the best way. We might need knee pads next time we come. The light blue line is eyes only. The usual pipe stems, broken pipe stems in their thousands. There's a hole down the middle. Just everywhere along here. Oysters are not native to the Thames, but their shells are found here in huge numbers. In the 19th century, oysters were a cheap and popular food in London. They were a staple of the lower classes' diet. Now an expensive treat, they were once in such numbers that they were cheap food for the poor. Oysters were sold from stalls on almost every street corner. They were used as a substitute for more expensive meats in soups and stews. A popular dish was beef and oyster pie, which used a small amount of expensive meat and lots of cheap oysters. If you want to know more about the pottery sherds, check out Richard Henry's book. You can get it in PDF form. Well, that brings us to the end of another day in London. We've seen some interesting places and we've been mudlarking.
It's been great.
Yeah, we've met a few mudlarks, 2 of them in fact, and they were very helpful people, very friendly as usual.
Yes.
It always happens, doesn't it, when we meet mudlarks on the foreshore?
Yeah.
And they helped us identify a few things too. So, thanks for watching.
And if you like this video, please give us a thumbs up so more people can watch. And don't forget to go geocaching.